Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, we talk about all things fandom on this channel. We talk about it in a positive way. If that's something that appeals to you, you've come to the right place. We're so happy to have you here today. Today also happens to be Sunday, Sci-Fi Sunday, where we talk about all things sci-fi, fantasy, and comic book related. And today we have to talk about Man of Tomorrow. DCU's Man of Tomorrow movie has a very interesting new bit of information. So let's jump right into it. All right, so if you've been following the DCU, you know that the next thing after Supergirl is going to be this Clayface movie. And then we're going to be getting next year the Man of Tomorrow. And the Man of Tomorrow is not actually a Superman sequel, but it does involve Superman teaming up with Lex Luthor. And that is kind of different. However, it is something that happens on occasion in the comic books. Superman will sometimes team up with his very own villains just to get another villain out of the way. And that's the case with this movie. However, a lot of people have been talking about the different characters that are scheduled to appear in this movie and the different ones that could in fact show up. Because we know that it's going to have multiple characters in there, and there are some people who say that that's the only thing James Gunn knows how to do is multiple characters. Even if you want to say that, this is actually going to be a movie where it is a more threatening villain than he has faced in the DCU so far. And for that reason, yes, bring those other villains, bring those other heroes in to fight this person as well. Because the enemy of your enemy is your friend. Well, one of the latest things to come out, and a lot of places have been reporting this, is that Hawkgirl will be making an appearance in Man of Tomorrow. Now, I think that's pretty cool, because Hawkgirl was, for the short time that she appeared in the Superman film, she was one of the highlights. She basically drops one of the villains from the sky. However, even though that's the case, it was still a little bit cool as well. She got a nice line out of the deal, only she didn't get punished at all. So I think putting her in this movie is not going to hurt it. After all, we do know that Mr. Terrific might be getting a spinoff at some point, and Guy Gardner is going to be in the Lanterns TV show. Since all of those characters already are in something else, why not bring Hawkgirl into something as well? And since she's not scheduled to be in anything, this makes perfect sense. Not only does this make perfect sense because of her not getting to go anywhere else, but it also is going to be something that I think will benefit the story. She is, after all, an alien. So, an alien character helping to fight against this other villain. That's a win. So what exactly do we know? This is what we know. According to several sources, Hawkgirl is confirmed to return in Man of Tomorrow. And Isabella Merced first appeared as Kendra Saunders in 2025 Superman. A member of the Justice Gang, a team of superheroes funded by Lord Tech CEO Maxwell Lord, and Hawkgirl made a second appearance in Peacemaker Season 2, helping Lord and Guy Gardner to recruit new members. They, of course, rejected Peacemaker because why not? It set up what happens in that series. So Season 2 would have been entirely different if all of a sudden he was part of the Justice Gang. Now, right now, we don't know much about 2027's Man of Tomorrow. We do know that David Cornsweet and Lex Luthor will be working together against a threat that is presumably going to be Brainiac. That's right, presumably going to be Brainiac. This hasn't officially been confirmed. Everyone kind of thinks it's Brainiac. I kind of think it's going to be Brainiac. But the idea that this is some sort of galactic threat, some sort of threat that Superman might need help defeating, that's something that's really cool. And it's something that will present its way into leading into possibly the Justice League later on. Now, I think it's kind of cool that they are going to bring her into this movie because I do think she's going to end up paying for the events that happened in the other movie. Because maybe she's not actually going to be teaming up with him on her own. Maybe she's not going to be volunteering to team up with Superman. Maybe this is part of her release program. She might be doing time for her crime in the Superman movie. And I think that would be interesting because if she is doing time for that crime and she actually has to do this, has to help him, it does add a bit of depth to the character of Hawkgirl. It makes her a more interesting character. I never want our heroes to be two-dimensional, and I never want our villains to be two-dimensional. So getting her out there and actually allowing her to have a past, because we've already started to see that go through. We've already kind of started to see that she's rough around the edges. If they are going to lead into Justice League and she's going to have any part in the actual Justice League, she's got to start playing by the rules. And maybe this is the way that they're going to lead into that. This is definitely something that I could see leading into the Justice League. Superman having to team up with his villains and his heroes to actually accomplish something is going to be probably a big factor in forming the Justice League. He's going to start looking for those people that he can trust in big events. And we know that there are the founders of the Justice League out there. So we could start to actually get to see them in their own movies as well. We know that they are going to essentially get their movies, and these movies might not be origins, but these movies might also lead us into them needing help as well. And I think that's going to help. So this movie, having her in here, I don't think is a bad thing. I think that this is going to really make things interesting. So there's not a lot of information about what her character will be doing in here because there's not a lot of information about what this movie's going to entail anyway. So just based on that, I have to kind of assume that she's going to be in this movie to answer for the events that she did in the first Superman movie, because everything has to come from something. If they bring her in and there's no mention of it at all, I think that's kind of disappointing. But that's where I'm going to leave it off to you guys. What do you think about this? Are you excited to see her story continue? Do you hope that they address what she did in Superman? Do you think that what she did in Superman was justified and that the heroes aren't going to have thrown her in prison for it, or she's not going to do any time? Or do you think we're going to get to see something where she kind of has to be reformed just a little bit from the events of that movie? Whatever you guys are thinking, there's no wrong answer. I just wanted to give you this information, let you know that she is in fact going to be part of this movie, and kind of talk to you about what you guys think. So make sure you are leaving me that comment. Let me know what you think. Also, don't forget to share this video with all of your friends so they can be a part of our conversation as well. And then if you like positive content, you know what to do. You're going to want to hit that like button so you let the algorithm know. It can't hurt. It can only help. And if you like our channel personally, you're going to want to hit that subscribe button and that notification bell so that you never miss a single video we do. Because friends, at the end of the day, I know it, you know it, and Miko knows it. Fandom is family.